Okay, hello. So I just wanted to give like I guess a warning to the beginning of this. So what you're seeing, this is the world that we're going to be making, but this video is kind of like, it's like really long. I do go through it from start to finish on how to make this. But honestly, I don't think it's the best way to go about learning on how to build in this stuff. I suggest taking some of the tools I show you at the beginning of the video and messing around and playing with it yourself to see what you can make. But most of it is just me kind of going through my process, modeling and kind of talking through it. But yeah, I do go through it from beginning to end on how to make this. That being said, if you want to go ahead and download what I made here, there is a link in the description where you can just download the Unity package, bring it in, and then play with it from there. But otherwise, I hope this helps you. So yeah, that's it. Okay, what's up, people? So this is like, I guess this is a tutorial, but I'm like hesitant on saying tutorial because I don't know how in depth I'm going to be with everything that I do. But I am going to take you through how to make a VRChat World, and I'm going to try to assume that whoever's watching this knows nothing about anything. So hopefully it'll help with anyone who's trying to make VRChat worlds, but just does not know where to start. The only thing I am going to assume is that you know how to download the correct version of Unity that you need. So I guess first we're gonna start on VRChat. Go here to download the right Unity file, but here we'll just download this. And I always save it in the same spot. I already got a version here, but I'll just overwrite it. Alright, so we are going to start in Unity. Basically how I'm going to go through this is I'm going to take you through some tools you can use to model. We're going to make the space. We're going to go into the asset store and probably get some free stuff to make it look really cool. Or we might go to Sketchfab. We'll see what's up. And we're going to make a space and we'll optimize it. We'll go through lighting and we'll make it look cool. I don't know if I'll do particles or anything special, but I've got no plan for this. We're just gonna build and see what happens. So I usually don't bring in the SDK immediately. What I usually always do immediately is I go and I download ProBuilder. And ProBuilder is a really useful tool, especially if you have no experience in modeling at all like me. I mean, now I've got a little bit of experience, right? But it's really simple to use. It's hard. You can't really get too in depth with it because it's not really made to do that. So like, I wouldn't want to build a couch with ProBuilder, but it's really great to build the room I'm gonna put a couch in. So just download and import that, and then we're gonna download ProGrids and Polybrush. Though I don't know if we're gonna use Polybrush. I do always download it just so it's like there to be used. All right, so this will come up. Just go ahead and say yes, I made a backup. So you got to be careful with some assets you download. If it gives up that warning, it could be coming with like a bunch of scripts that you don't know about, and that can mess up the SDK, and then you can't upload and you don't know why, and everything's crashing. But for this, I know this is good. So all right, so now that that's downloaded, let's go to ProGrids. Import that. Now let's get Polybrush. Polybrush. Great, now that we have that down, we can start building. Actually, before we start building, I will bring in the SDK just so we can set up this project. So go into your folder, find wherever you saved the SDK at, and just bring that in and let that do its thing. It's going to take a second for it to load, but it'll be good. Press import and let that go. Alright, so now that we got the VRCSDK in there, we should be able to go and start building. Just actually, before I keep going, I just want to let you know that whatever I make here, which I don't know what it is yet, but I will put a download link for it as a Unity package. So if you want, you can just download it and load it into Unity yourself and try it out. If you've never really worked in Unity, and this is probably really intimidating, but you know what? I promise you it's going to be okay. So I have Pro Builder in here. So what I'm going to do is if you go to Tools up here, go to Pro Builder, you can bring up the Pro Builder window and you have all your Pro Builder tools right here. And I always download the grid because it's nice, but I don't really use it that often anymore. So I'm just going to not deal with that, but just so you know, the Pro Grids options is here and the Polybrush options are there. But I'm just going to start simply, and I'm just going to press New Shape over here for Pro Builder, and I'm going to build a cube. And then I can use these tools up here to shape this into anything that I want. Now, when you're building a world, what you want to do, I don't know why you want to do this, to be honest. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but you always want to make sure that you're close to the origin, which is 0, 0, 0. So that's where I always start the build at. If you start to go away from it, world gets laggy. Like if you're 1,000 meters away from it, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. But I've been in worlds that have been like super far away from it, and then the whole world's shaking and you don't know why. So let me just position this at 0, 0, 0, and look at that, we're in the center. Alright, I'm just gonna shape this into whatever I want. I think for this is just going to be like a chill room. I'm just going to do a room with like 3 walls, and then maybe like a balcony out here or something. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so okay, if you're following what I'm doing, I know I just did that kind of quickly. Basically, I'm choosing the face tool up here, and I'm clicking on the faces that I want to move, and using these arrows, I can move the faces wherever I want. You know, and right now I'm moving stuff and pressing Ctrl Z. I'm holding Ctrl too, and Ctrl is snapping my my movements to 1 meter. I think you can change that somehow. But yeah, this looks good. Now, if you can see, I extruded this side out. So basically what I did was I selected the side, I held shift, and then I pulled, which now I've got 2 faces here, and I don't want to do it on that side, but I was just demonstrating on how I did that. So hopefully I'm not going too fast. I'm going to build some walls here. The way you could do this, you could actually we'll do it. We won't mess with this shape too much. We'll do a new shape, make a new cube. Let's bring this up. So I've got this cube at 0, 0 again. I'm just gonna select this face, bring it in, and this is gonna be the wall on this side. Now it's gonna be clipping on the side here, which probably isn't a big deal because nobody's gonna see that side. So I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm gonna make this room 4 meters tall. So I'm just grabbing these sides and moving them out. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to press Ctrl D, which is going to duplicate it, and I'm going to hold Control while I move this whole shape. As you can see, I'm now on the shape here and not the face, so that way the whole thing's moving. I'm going to move it all the way to this side. And then I'm going to press Ctrl D again, just so I don't have to create a new shape. Through there, I'm going to move it over. I'm going to press E for the rotate tool, and I'm going to hold Control while I rotate this so it snaps. And I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees and bring it over here. I'm going to select this side, hold Control to snap it so I can get it all the way over here. And look at that, we pretty much have a whole room right here. I'm going to select this whole shape, and I'm actually going to Control D. I'm going to bring it up for a roof. And I actually don't want this coming out so far. We're just going to do it like that. Keeping it simple. Now, if you look in here, you can see these like lines, and that's the light seeping through my little shapes here. The reason that is happening is because I got this directional light, and I can't really tell you why it's actually happening because I don't really understand why, but I do know how it's happening. It's because I built these shapes after the directional light was in. So if I actually delete this, oops, I'm going to duplicate it, delete this one. Fuck, that didn't fix it. There we go. If I add a new light and I bring it in, it seems to work. I don't know why. Why is that all the way over there? It's weird. I'm actually not going to worry about the directional light right now. I just thought I'd point that out. But okay, we have this cool little shape. Not much going on. Let's make it a little bit fancier. We're going to add a little balcony area over here. Probably like a glass little wall thing. And then maybe we'll add something up here. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of just planning this out right now. I don't really have a plan. I'm gonna grab this face here. Let's bring it over here. And just to give you guys an idea of scaling, I mean, this is kind of a big space. It probably doesn't look that big, but my avatar is about 1.4 meters, so my head in game is going to be around here. So that hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of where everything, or what kind of size building this actually is. It's pretty big. Maybe too big. No, it's fine. I was gonna add stairs to go up. I don't know if I should do that. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? So I'm going to add. I switched to the edge tool. I selected this one edge, and I'm gonna go down here and hit Insert Edge Loop, and I'm gonna bring this guy right over here, so that way I can select only this part of this shape. I'm gonna press Shift, and then I'm gonna move so that extrudes it. I'm gonna bring this like that, and then let's bring. Let's not bring anything. Let's go back to the. Let's hit New Shape. Let's go down to Stairs. Come on, where are you? Ah, I'm stupid. Let's make some stairs. So I'm gonna want this height to be 4, so it goes all the way to the top. Bring this out a little bit more. With the width, just keep it at 2. Depth, that's my Z. I'm gonna make more stairs so it makes sense. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. That looks cool, I guess. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So now I've got these stairs that are kind of too big, so I'm gonna grab all these faces. And I'm just kind of clicking and dragging so I select more than one face. So I'm not having to hit each one at the same thing. Or, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of mumbling right now. Oh fuck, I ended up grabbing all the... Okay, I selected all those faces. I'm gonna bring them in to fit the amount of space I have right here. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna add like a little like border on the bottom. Fuck me. What did I miss? That's so weird. Alright, whatever. Alright, I'm gonna add like a little border right here, and I'm gonna bring it all the way up, and this whole side is going to be like a window or something. All right, let's build that out. Actually, it might be cool to make this whole side a window. That's actually what I'm going to do. All right, let's do this. We're going to make this whole thing a border. We're going to bring it out just a little bit more. Let's bring this down. Oops. I'm going to extrude it just over here. And that's by holding shift and pulling it on it and extrude it there. And then I'm going to extrude it right here. Then I'm going to pull this up. How does that look? That looks pretty good. I'm just gonna go down here, grab that, and extrude it down. Neato. Now we need a floor thing here. Let's grab this top shape, hit the edge tool. We're gonna do insert edge loop. Do one right there, and I'm also gonna do one. I'm gonna do a second one, insert edge loop, like that. And I'm just eyeballing stuff, just kind of playing around, to be honest with you. I'm gonna bring that to there. And I think I'll have a wall right here. Oh, actually no, I'll have... We'll make this whole top an open thing, so it'll just be like a railing. So we'll just end that there. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna actually duplicate this entire piece. I'm gonna bring it up to about here. Maybe I'll bring it up to here. Maybe I should have extruded the whole thing to match that. I'm gonna actually do that right now. Cool. I don't really know what I'm building here, but you know what? It's gonna be super lit. Oh, hey, I haven't saved it yet. Okay, so I just press Ctrl save, Ctrl S. I'm gonna call it chill, hangout, dope, rain room, ×2. Why not? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do new shape, build cube. Where's my cube? Where'd that go? Found you. Alright. We are gonna build... Oh, I was gonna... You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna duplicate this cube. So if you look over here in my hierarchy, it's a goddamn mess. And there's only a few shapes in here. I usually don't name anything. If you want to be organized, and you should be organized, you should name all these things. You should pick this, and you should press F2 to change, and call it floor. But I don't feel like doing that, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna keep this cube here. I'm gonna keep this cube here, and I'm gonna duplicate it. And we're gonna build some columns. These columns are going to be long rectangles. Ooh, should it go up like that? Yeah, why not? I'm gonna duplicate that, bring it over there. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. 1, 2. Oh, that works out. Holy shit. I'm gonna actually bring this over here too. We're gonna do 2. We're gonna make these windows. Bring this one all the way to the end here. We're gonna bring this. I'm gonna actually rotate it 90 degrees. I'm eating a chocolate chip cookie. It's really good. Then I'm going to take this, duplicate it. That's Ctrl D. I'm going to bring it over here. We're going to make our railing. I was thinking about doing like a simple glass one, but you know what? I got a better idea. I'm just going to do like a cool little shape. And then like duplicate it a bunch of times. It's got to be pretty thin because, come on, no, come on, what the fuck, thank you. So the thing to notice about Pro Builder objects is that they always come in as static. And they always come in with colliders. I don't know if Unity's tools does that, but that's. I think if you add a Unity object, game object, it comes in not as static. And if this is your first time using Unity, you probably don't know what those words mean. Which makes sense. I'm just kind of playing with the shape here. I don't know how, probably shouldn't worry about it too much. I'm just gonna it's not that bad, I guess. We're just gonna keep going. And we're gonna try to do the same thing on this side. Okay. This works. Look at this cool little shape we made. So yeah, so I was thinking about just made that, so let's just duplicate it a couple times. Wow, how nice. This one's a little higher than the, let's try to keep it balanced. There we go. Oh, no, it's too close. There we go. How nice. Okay, let's put in our window. Taking my cube, duplicating it again. I'm gonna make my window real thin. Like that. Ooh, so nice. And let's place it right where we want it. I hope you are able to follow along, and I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm going to make it this whole length, and we're going to bring it up. Let's bring it up to like there. That way, it's also kind of like our balcony thing. Maybe we'll put little lights on each one of these posts or something. They'll look really cool. Oh, that would look actually really nice. Now I'm getting excited. Hell yeah. I'm going to duplicate this and bring it over here. Rotate. Once again, that's by pressing E. We're going to bring it over here. Let's try to place it right. I'm actually just going to bring this one over till it's about to hit that. And I'll try to balance it out a bit. I don't want them touching, but I do want them like completing this whole little area here. Oh, actually I take that back. I don't want that at all. I'm going to bring this down to here. Yeah. And I'm gonna select that one edge using the edge tool, and I'm gonna press insert edge loop, and I'm gonna bring it all the way to where this column is. And then I'm actually, what am I doing? I'm gonna grab this, bring this all the way to the end here. I'm gonna go to my edge thing again, and I'm gonna select this little guy up here. I'm just gonna move that over there. Not exactly what I wanted, but I see how I can fix this. I'm gonna grab this guy. I'm gonna bring it right to where that little thing ends. Ooh, I'm actually gonna grab this under here. Oops, what happened? Bring that down. Extrude this out to there, and now it matches. Yay! So the space is like actually getting built out. Now I'm dying. Okay. Looking pretty good. I'm digging it. So what now? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna press Ctrl D. I'm gonna bring this over there. Oops. But I don't really want it to go all the way down, but I do want it to match that. As you can see, I just moved that thing, and now my cursor is still down here. I kind of don't want it down there. I want it to be in the center, so they've got this center pivot button. I actually just learned about this button. It's very useful. Now I'm just going to duplicate and bring it over. Damn, it didn't match up like I was hoping. That's okay. It will just... that looks like ass. This is what we'll do. We'll try to balance this whole thing out by moving everything a little bit over. Hey, that looks normal. Cool. And I'm going to bring this over here as well. I mean, as you can see, I'm just fucking around at this point. I don't really know what I'm doing. But, hey, that's world building. You know? You feel me? Actually, I'm not going to have that like that. I'm gonna have this spot specifically replicate the balcony down here. I think that would be cool. But I do see an area where I can, oops. Actually, I'm gonna bring this right here. Maybe I'll have a glass thing on this side too. Oop, I don't want to extrude it, I just want to bring it up. Or maybe I'll make it a wall. Might make sense as a wall. Would it make sense to have this whole area open? You see what I mean? Like, I guess it could be cool. I don't know. We're just gonna go with it. I'll make this glass. Why not? Let's grab this shape. Let's bring it in like that. Oops, I'm gonna grab both of these and bring them up so they match. And I'm gonna, oops, I'm gonna bring this guy over here again. Alrighty, let's go down here, duplicate this. Once again, I hope you're following along and you're having a great time. Yay. Now let's center, pivot, bam. Look at that. This is going to be a hell of a glass window. I can't wait. Ooh. Oh no, that's okay. We'll just make that bigger. There's also no little ground border. Let's see, can we fix that? We can. Did that work? It didn't work at all. That's okay, because we can just make it bigger. Beautiful. All right, so let's go back to this cube and duplicate it again. If you don't have 150 cubes over here, you're doing something wrong. Just kidding. That was a joke. I'm funny, I swear. People like me. No, they don't. Okay. Slowly losing it. Okay. I'm gonna just try to replicate this thing so I can build it all the way around. Oh my god, that's actually pretty close. Go me. Hey, let's center pivot. Get out of here. Alright. Oh, is that clipping through the ground? It is. It is clipping on the ground. Alright, cool. Let's bring this over here. Let's just make this thing look nice. Ooh. Nice. And I'm going to duplicate that. Press E to rotate. Rotate this over here. Oops. Let's center that pivot, boy. Center pivot. Yay. All right. Almost got this down. Let's duplicate it one more time. Let's bring it down this way. Let's go back to the faces, grab this face over here. All right, just Ctrl S, save this project. It's looking pretty good. Don't really know how. Oh, let's there's a couple more things we got to do first before I move on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna bring this right here. I just want to block this area off so that it makes sense. I'm not really sure if this whole stair thing makes any sense at all, to be honest with you, but actually, I'm going to delete this guy, and this shape here should have, yep, there's that face. I'm going to extrude this up and just have this as the, because this is going to be the same material anyways, it should work out. And then just to give this some breathing room, bring that in. Wow, how nice. Oh, and there's one more thing I gotta do. Let's duplicate this cube. Let's bring it over here. How did I do this? All right, it's a little rectangle-y. Actually, I'll just bring it down here. Copy it. Yay. I'm just gonna put this right here. Come on. There we go. And I know what you're thinking. How is that standing up? It's just floating there right now. That looks dumb as hell. And you're absolutely right. So let's duplicate this. No, let's not duplicate that one. Let's duplicate this one. And let's bring it into here. Wow. Doesn't that look nice? Not really, actually. Fuck. Delete that one. Let's we're gonna move that over here. Oop. And then we're just gonna kind of move everything over. Kind of like what we did on the other side to make that side look a little bit nicer. Wow, and there we go. Got ourselves kind of a cool space, some weird stair area, but you know what? It looks good. I'm gonna delete this because I don't think I need it anymore. Now we got a nice, chill, empty space. And what I like to do now, actually, let's deal with the VRChat basic stuff real quick. So we've got the SDK. We're in assets. Let's go to the VRChat SDK. Let's go to prefabs. Let's go to world. And let's put down a VRC world. I want people to spawn right here. Now when you put this down, the way people are going to be facing is wherever the blue is pointing. So right now they'll be looking this way. If we rotate this 90 degrees to the right, they are now going to be looking this way. So and that's what I want, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna save this. What I always like to, I know this hierarchy is kind of a mess in a way. I do organize in a certain way. I don't like to name every freaking thing because that takes forever, but I did just create an empty game object by pressing right clicking, create empty, or you can go down to create empty. I'm gonna click this, press F2 to rename, and I'm gonna rename it to skeleton. And this lets me know that everything that is in the skeleton is a object that is makes up the skeleton of the world. Number one is an object that is static, and it's an object with a collider. That's kind of my criteria to put something in here, because later on to optimize I'm going to want to combine a lot of stuff, and this makes it really easy for me to know that, hey, everything in here I can combine. So yeah, and look at that, that looks way cleaner, right? Now let's hit our VRC world over here. Let's go. One thing we definitely want to put in, because we want people to be able to jump, we want to put in a player mods script, VRC player mods. This is what you want. You hit that. First of all, you're gonna want that checked for it to actually work. Add mod jump. We're gonna add that. There's other things in here like speed, voice, health. We're just going to do jump, and we're just going to have it at the basic thing. Once again, make sure that's checked. And now everything should be able to work. I want to set up my layers now for VRChat. Come on, what's going on? There we go. I'm going to go to VRCSDK. I'm going to go to show build control panel. This is going to pop up. And it's like, hey, you got to do these things. Set up layers for VRChat. Yes. Do it. Hey, set up collision layer. Physics stuff. Do it. It's basically the same thing. All right. Now it's like, oh, everything's okay. Now you're probably wondering what that means. If you've never been in Unity and you've never used Unity physics or anything like that. Let's see if I can show you real quick. If I go down to edit, project settings, physics, what we just did is we set up this whole layer here. Now this is a little intimidating for people who've never really looked at it, but this is basically telling you what layers things are on and what they interact with. The reason why you can have a pickup object that hits the wall but doesn't hit certain things is because it's on a certain layer that affects other layers. I hope that makes sense. I don't really want to go into detail on this because I don't think it's really necessary for what we're doing, but it is important. So yeah, I'm going to save that. And now we can start doing some fun things, like I want to set up the Skybox. So let's go into the asset store and let's find something really cool. Maybe something spacey, because space is really cool. Everybody loves a space skybox. Space. This looks great. This looks like something I've downloaded before. Let's import it. You do want to be careful when you are downloading assets, because if it comes with scripts, those scripts may prevent you from uploading to VRChat, and sometimes when you have these scripts in there that you don't know about, and you try to upload and it's like, oh, my project's not uploading and this isn't happening, or I'm getting compiler errors and I don't know why. It's probably because you have scripts and things in the project that are affecting the upload, and it's usually coming with things that you've downloaded. So I want to try to stay somewhat organized, and I'm going to put just gonna make a Unity asset folder. So everything I get from the asset store I know is in here. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Oh, it's too much, too much. Oops. I actually really like this. Okay. This is what we're using. So here's the deal. This is a this is a nice image of dots to make it look like the sky. It's probably, how big is this? Each one's probably 2 megabytes. There's really no reason for each one to be 2 megabytes. So we're gonna hit all of these and we are gonna go into this. This is some optimization stuff. I usually do it as I go with textures, but I usually get this stuff at the end. I'm just gonna move this down to 512. I'm gonna apply and it's gonna compress all these images to that. So instead of being 2 megabytes, it's 2 megabytes. What the fuck? Maybe it was already at that high setting. Let's take it down to that. So now instead of each image being 2 megabytes, it's still 2 meg. What the fuck? I hate you. What? Why is it being like that? Failed extracting big materials. I didn't try to bake anything yet. Oh, maybe I have. Lighting, setting. Ooh, this is important. Hey, so go to Windows, go down to lighting, settings. Turn this off. You don't want that on. Not that I was adding any lights or anything. I'm gonna try to compress this guy. It should be. Alright, you know what? We're gonna ignore that for now. I don't know why they're not compressing. It's really fucking annoying. Okay, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna create a new folder here by right-clicking, create folder. I'm gonna go to textures, and I usually keep my materials and textures in here. Obviously, you can organize your project as however you want. Let's make a glass object. So I'm just gonna do the standard material. We're gonna change this to transparent. I'm actually gonna bring this all the way up. And when you do a transparent thing, you wanna affect the alpha right here. And I'm gonna put this on everything that's supposed to be glass. Oh shit, starting to look pretty dope. Even if I have a super unoptimized skybox that won't optimize. But that's okay, because things are looking good. So now what? Now we need more textures. We need a floor, a ceiling. We need walls. We need this thing. So let's find those things. Asset store, maybe? Let's just type in textures, see what we find. Usually I have my own resources now for textures, but it's a paid resource, so I can't really put it in here and then give it out to everybody to download, because that's kind of shitty. So I'm not going to do that, because that's somebody's product I would be giving out for free, which I'm not going to do. I'm thinking of some kind of like granite or like metal dark material for these columns. We're gonna Google free textures. Okay, so I just spent some time trying to find some textures. I think I found 2, and I think we can use those 2 to make several different materials that will look pretty cool. And I was thinking maybe that the lighting in this world will kind of play a huge role on creating the mood and feel for it. So I think these two textures will work. Hopefully they're not ass. I haven't even brought them in yet. I'm looking for them right now. Where did I put them? Here they are. Just gonna bring those in. And so I've got a dry one here. I just took these off of VRCSDK. I took them off of Google Images, so that's probably fine. I'm gonna rename this to drywall. Hey, and look, it looks like drywall. Alright, so if you notice, if you take an image and you put it on an object, it will, what am I trying to say? It'll repeat the texture, and it will set it as a legacy shader. VRChat can't actually display legacy shaders, so I always just go to standard. I'm going to bring that all the way down. And I do want the walls to be somewhat white. See, here we can change the color. We'll make it a little bit darker. And then I've got this concrete guy right here, and it's not it's not too good in terms of seamlessness. Maybe if we go 0.5, make it a little bit bigger. Oops. Make it a little bit bigger. Oh, maybe make it super big. Won't be noticeable. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I definitely want this to be dark. I actually hate this. Okay. I don't hate the texture. I don't like it as the floor. But I do like it as the columns. Let's do that. And while I put this here, I'm gonna try to think what the floor should be. Maybe the drywall will work. I don't think so. Maybe wood? I'm gonna go over here and enable GPU instancing. Basically what that means is I won't get into it. Just check that. It's an optimization thing. Hey, that looks kind of cool. Kind of getting somewhere. Okay, so I ended up finding this cool wood texture on the asset store for free, so I downloaded it and I threw it on and I like it. I'm gonna go back to my textures, and which one? That would be that. I'm gonna throw this on my railings as well. And I know it doesn't look like much and it's kind of simple, but I think it's gonna look really nice. Maybe try to find something else for the roof. What if I made, let's actually go back to my textures. Let's duplicate this one. Let's make this like way lighter. Oh my god, there's a fucking Shutterstock thing on here? How did I not see that? God damn it. Fuck, I like this one. You can't see it on the technically I'm just just gonna leave it. God damn it. Maybe we can find a concrete thing real quick. Concrete. I hope this is helping someone. Okay, let's put this in there. Oh. Wow. Is this it? Is this the move? Actually, I'm just gonna replace all of it. Now that that's done, I'm gonna see if there's a light one in here. I don't think there is. It's not looking good. Ooh. No. Three. Kind of digging this one. I'll make this 0.3. That's too big. Never mind. 0.6. I'm actually gonna make this diagonal. Okay, so since this is a Pro Builder object, there's a tool in here called UV Editor, and UV Editor kind of lets you change the UVs. So I'm gonna make these diagonal. Obviously, I'm gonna need to move. Oops. Some of these to make it match. Well, how's it match? Oh, it's not. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna close out of that. And let's start adding lights. So if I turn, so right here I can turn on the light on and off. The only light that's in here right now is this this guy right here. I'm actually gonna make this a bit bigger. 0.5, 0.5. I think that looks nicer. I'm gonna actually fucking delete that because it looks like ass. Oh, now there's no lights here. Alright. Create empty lights. Alright, first thing you want to do, I did this earlier, but you definitely just double check. Go into this, window, lighting, setting. Go down here, make sure auto generate is turned off. I hate when it tries to bake while I'm working. I'm just gonna add some lights, man. Well, I guess I should add a directional light because we're gonna need one. Boop, boop, boop. I don't like that. Let's do that. I'm gonna turn all my stuff to bake. Okay, so I always turn my indirect multiplier to 0. Basically what that is, it's the amount of light that bounces off of other objects, as far as I understand it. I turn it to 0 because that only gets taken into account in bake lighting, and I'm usually setting up my lighting using the real-time lighting, and to get as close of a result to what I'm seeing in the real-time lights, I keep that to 0, and that's kind of my reasoning behind it. I want this to be a real dark, chill world, so I'm going to turn down the directional light to 0.1. We'll have it hitting just a little bit. Now let's start adding some cool little... I'm going to add a cylinder. Actually, wrong thing. I'm going to do a new shape. Cylinder. And I'm going to make like a little light with this. So I'm going to make this like 0.2. No, it's too big. 0.1. 0.05. There we go. We're going to 0.1. Whoops. Number of sides, we'll do 6. Height, we'll do 0.1. Boom. So now we got this guy. I'm going to turn this off while I model this. Boom. Alright, so I'm selecting this face, or these faces. I pressed R to get to my scale. I'm going to hold Shift, and scale this in. And then I'm going to hold shift to extrude this in too. But then I'm going to hold shift again. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to go back to R and I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to just try to make a little light here. So kind of cool. I'm going to go to textures here. I've got this guy. Use my plane texture. Okay, I'm going to actually select all these little faces here that are supposed to be the light. Actually, I'm going to select these. I want to make sure that this looks good, so I'm gonna hit this smoothing thing. Oh, that's, yeah, I'm just going to put, I select the faces that I want light to hit uniformly, and I don't know if I just explained that. I just explained that horribly. Basically, what the smoothing tool does is it lets light hit all the faces uniformly, so you won't have any extremely sharp edges on the faces. So I'm gonna hit smoothing again. I'm gonna hit 3. See what it did there? I don't know if that was that important because I'm actually gonna put a new material here, which is going to be a light. Make sure that's set to bake. I have everything on baked all the time. I'm gonna put that right there. And I'm gonna put these lights kind of all over the place. Actually, let's doing this a little bit differently. I'm gonna delete this one. In the center. I'm just selecting these, duplicating them, and placing them where I want them to go. Once again, I'm pressing E for the rotate tool. Wow. Select all these. I'm going to duplicate them and I'm going to bring them up here. Oh, this one I'm going to want to delete. I don't want that one there. Also don't want this one there. I'm gonna go back into that view. It's just easier to center when I'm looking at it like this. Wow. Now that I've got that, let's add little point lights to all that. I'm just gonna throw all these little cylinders into my skeleton here. And let's add a point light. Where's my point light? Wow. Whoa, that's so bright. Let's make it like two. Let's make it like 1. I'm gonna do 0. We're gonna do baked. We're gonna make it super warm. Let's do the intensity like 3. And I'm gonna actually put hard shadows. There. Make it more realistic. Actually, what if I do like 5? 5's probably too much. Let's go down to 3. I feel like 1 is too much. Hmm. 3.8. That ain't bad. Now if you notice, some of these real-time lights are flickering. That's not good. We don't want that to happen. So we should fix that. By going to Edit, project settings, quality. We're gonna move this to like 50-ish or something like that. Basically what this says is how many light sources can interact with an object before those lights more or less break. The default is 4. I always bump it up super high so I can put as many lights as I want down. I'm gonna bake all my lights so it usually doesn't have an effect on performance. Basically what that means though is it's going to increase your light maps, I believe, because the more pixel count you have, the more light maps that need to be made. I'm saying that like there's a question mark at the end because I low-key have no idea what I'm doing either. So I think that's how it works. So yeah. We need more lights. I really like this over here, so actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick these up. Oops. I'll put them up there. Let's do this. 1. Ooh, so this is pretty nice lit area. All right, so I've got a room here. This is supposed to be basic anyway, so I'm just gonna go with this. I've got a basic room here. It's lit pretty well. Feels good. I like it. So I'm gonna go onto the asset store and or Sketchfab. I think I might go to Sketchfab. They might have some more stuff there. I'm gonna find some lights, some props, some cool things like a bed. I don't know. We'll see. Room. If I just do room, what will come up? I need free things. Ooh. Hey, this is that one that one world. Okay. Nope, that's where you got that from. Got it. Locker room. Low poly bedroom. So yeah, I'm just gonna look around. I'm not gonna show all this because there's really no need to show all this, but I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna download a bunch of stuff, and once again, I'm just like on the asset store, or I'm looking on Sketchfab or Googling free assets and things. And as you just saw, like, if you start looking around, you'll start to see a lot of the things that you see in the game, because a lot of people run around and snag whatever from wherever. So yeah, I don't know why this download's taking so long, but yeah, I'm gonna do that, and when we come back, which will be in literally 2 seconds for you, I'll have a bunch of shit everywhere. All right. So I have a lot of stuff. Let me show you. I've got this nice folder here called Sketchfab, and in it I have all these things that I have downloaded. Now here's the thing with Sketchfab objects. They're very nice and high poly, and you should decimate and optimize these objects. Most people don't, but you should, because like I've got a rug here that I know is 1.8K polys, and a rug should be like 6. So I'm gonna extract all these, and once I do that, I'm gonna open these up in Blender, and I'm gonna open these up in Blender, and I'm gonna decimate them to the best of my ability to make them, usable in our VRChat game/world. Okay, I'm skipping a little ahead here in what I was doing. Just to catch you up on where I'm at, is I tried to take one of the objects from Sketchfab and I tried to like decimate it in Blender and do all this stuff, and nothing was working with it, and it was just a bad piece to work with, or at least I wasn't able to work with it right. So I'm deleting it, and yeah, and that's all that I'm skipping, and I'm cutting it all out because there's no point into it if you can't see what I'm doing. And I show the workflow with the rug in a little bit here. So yeah, that's all. Carry on. All right, I'm gonna delete this. I'm deleting the bed because I can't optimize it. So I'm gonna go and try to find a different bed. But I found these chairs on the Unity Asset Store, and they're pretty cool and optimized. I can't remember where the spawn was. Put it right there. Might have to change that. So yeah, I'm just, this is simple. I'm just taking objects and I'm placing them wherever. I'm actually going to change where this is. I'm going to move it back over here, or like make it point the original direction it was pointing. Bring it over here so when you load in, you're now looking that way. Actually, let's move it over here. So when you load in, you're looking that way. I think I'm gonna put the mirror over here. What other things did I download? What is this? There we go. All right, let's see what else do I got here. VRC. A rug. I'm gonna open this up in Blender as well. No, that's not what I wanted. I know you can't import that bed because, I mean, why would you be able to do that? That would be crazy. Alright, what I want to look on here for is why. Oops, why am I having problems? Why this would be like this. This is a rug. It doesn't need to have 2,000 polys. Like, it doesn't need 2,000 faces. So we're gonna go to decimate. Oops. 52 polys sounds way better. All right, now I'm gonna. Okay, so optimizing should go as simple as that. I didn't talk through that at all. I just noticed. Rug decimated. I'm going to show you what I did real quick. Alright. So first, I imported, right? Imported the FBX, found the file, brought it in. I went over here to my modifiers, add modifier. I did decimate. I went to planar. Basically what this is saying is any shape that, or any 2 points that have an angle greater than 5 degrees, I think, or smaller than 5 degrees, I think it combines those two faces. I think that's how it works. And that's pretty good for getting all these faces gone on the, like a flat surface like this, which is why I used it. So this went down from like 1,000 something to 50, and it looks good, and we'll see how it looks in the program. So here's my rug. Let's go back to our 3D object thing. Let's do rug in a new folder. We'll bring this in. Here's my textures. We'll extract the materials, and we'll go to model. We'll be able to generate light map, and we'll bring this bad boy in. Actually, let me just do it like that. Just be like a normal map. Like, this rug is pretty dope. I'm gonna put this where the bed was supposed to go. Oh, that's having difficulties in the shade area. Maybe I'll keep it out here. Ooh, maybe keep it over here like that. That looks cool. Alright, let's do another object. Shelf. So this is a blend file. I'm just gonna open it and see how it looks in here. There's a lot to it. It came with a floor. I don't want a floor. You're crazy. Oops. This doesn't seem like it's too heavy. I'm just gonna bring it in and see what happens. There's a lot of textures on it though, which may not be good for Yeah, that's too many textures. Oops. Alright, so the workflow that you saw with the rug is like basically the workflow. We get an object, we need to decimate it down so that it isn't like crazy high poly, because there's no need for it to be crazy high poly, and it's just a matter of finding the assets that you can mess with and getting everything in there the way you want it to get in there, and thinking about like how many textures are coming with these assets. And this might be a little too much for someone who's still just getting into it and just wants to like make a world and throw whatever in there, and then I guess by all means throw whatever in there. And if you put these really high poly things in there, it's gonna look really nice, but it's gonna be unoptimized. But do it. I'm gonna find some more objects, I'm gonna throw them in here, and then we're gonna come back when I have more objects in here, and then we're gonna do some more optimization stuff, add in like mirror, some other thing like VRChat triggers, simple stuff, and then I at the end I'll show you how to get it ready for Quest, so you can have it on both things. So yeah, that's where we are, and I'm gonna take a break, and for you I'll just cut to when I come back. Alright, bye. Okay, so I found some objects. I found a new bed that actually works. And then I was getting mad because all the lights are like there's a lot of good lights on Sketchfab, but they're all made by this like same person or company, and they're super high poly. So I just made my own. I modeled my own there, and I added these things and modeled those, and then I added a tree and threw some pink lights in there. So yeah. I think this is good. We can begin optimization and adding some more VRChat stuff. So we're gonna do some triggers here before we do any real optimization. What is this? So that's the tree, rug, table. All right, let's put this into my 3D objects. All right, so we're not going to do too much in terms of like triggers and things. Really what we're just going to do, we already put jump in here, so that script's already in here. What we're going to do is we're going to put a mirror, a toggle for the mirror, and then we'll do the chairs too, and we'll add a toggle for the chairs as well. And I feel like that'd be good. So if you go over down into the VRCSDK, go to Prefabs, go to World, add in your mirror. And wow, if you press R, you can change the size and by scaling. I'm gonna put this right up against here. So yeah, now we got a mirror in here. Wonderful. I'm gonna create a new empty game object. I'm gonna call it triggers, and I'm gonna add a 3D object cube. And this is gonna be our mirror trigger. And we're going to do a second one for for a low quality mirror. So we'll do 2 mirrors, and then we'll do a third one for all the chairs to toggle. So first, let's make our mirror. So we got this one. This is the high quality mirror. If you go down here to the mirror layers, we're going to select nothing to begin with. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to put default, which is pretty much what most objects are on. Player, and then mirror reflection. And then we're going to duplicate this mirror. So now we have VRC mirror and VRC mirror 1. And on this one, this is going to be the one that's not so heavy. We're going to take off the default layer. So yeah, now we got both our mirrors in there and they're both active, which we don't want them to be active. So let's just highlight both of them and turn them off. Now let's go to our mirror button. Let's add a VRC trigger. VRC trigger. Press advanced mode, and we're going to do an on interact trigger add. We're going to go to local. We're going to type HQ high quality mirror. And when you hit this, it's going to set a game object active, which is going to set our first, it's going to set our first mirror as true, actually as toggle, so it'll go on and off. We're going to create a second action, set game object active, and we're going to take our second mirror, put it in here, and we're going to set that to false. So every time you hit this, it's going to make sure that the low quality mirror is off always, but it'll toggle our actual mirror on and off. We're going to do the same thing for this low quality button, but you know, for the low quality mirror and not the high quality mirror. So we're going to go to trigger. Oops, that's not how you spell trigger. Trigger, VRC trigger, advanced settings, on interact, add, local, low quality mirror. Just so you know, if you're not seeing local, it's because you did not click advanced mode. You need to click advanced mode to see local. We're going to do it. Set game object active. We're going to set the low quality mirror, which is mirror 1, as toggle, and then we're going to set game object active again, and we're going to take the high quality mirror and make sure that it's always false when you hit this button. So that way you can't have both mirrors on at the same time, because that would be really annoying. Awesome, so let's add some chairs. I'm going to add, I always like to make another thing for chairs, because there's always so many. Let's put some on the bed here. And then obviously we're going to put some on the chairs here. Alright, so we got 4 chairs in here. We're gonna drop all these down, select all these cubes. I'm holding Ctrl to select these cubes, that way I'm only selecting what I'm hitting. And then we're gonna go to the mesh renderer, and we're just gonna turn it off because we don't need to render those meshes. And now we'll have a button to toggle chairs. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to VRC trigger, advanced mode, on interact, local. We're gonna name this chair toggle, and we're gonna set game object active, and we're just gonna pull this whole list here into here. We don't need to do it individually because they're all parented by this one object. And yeah, and we're gonna set it to toggle, so every time you hit this button, this will turn on and off. But we will start with it on. So yeah, look at that. We got chairs, we got toggles, we got mirrors. This is like almost done. In fact, let's call it done. We've done it. Yay, now what? What are these? These are my art pieces. I'm gonna organize this just a little bit. Posters. These are my lights. So I'm gonna put these in my skeleton. These are my art pieces. I'm gonna put them in my posters. All right. So we've got a pretty cool world here. So optimization. I'm gonna bring this up. Right now, what you're looking at is batches and tries, right? You want to get these two things down as much as possible, and you also want to go through your textures and compress them as much as possible, because you don't want, you don't want a high download. You don't want people downloading a lot if they don't have to, and the lower you can get the batches down is the better the game's gonna run. So how do you do that? Number one, you do that by baking lights and combining objects. First, we're going to focus on combining objects because Pro Builder makes it very easy. And yeah, so let's do that. Now, I've organized my skeleton here to be all objects that I know need a collider, which actually, I take that back. These, where's that one? These light objects, we're going to put them in 3D objects. These actually do not need colliders, but so everything else in here does need a collider, and it is a static object that won't move. They are all set to static. We can go in here and we can, under the Pro Builder tool, we can actually just merge all these objects into one. And you'll see once we do this, this is going to be considerably lower. So let's do that. I think it went up. Was that like at 1700 or 700? It went up because I'm using real-time lights, I think, and that changes depending on the objects, which is fine. Whatever. Trust me, it's good. It's a good thing. Take my word for it. Fuck. Alright, I combined all those objects. Yay. I can combine my posters now because those are both Pro Builder objects. And you're probably thinking, well, what do you do if you don't have Pro Builder objects? Well, for these, you can use a tool called Mesh Baker. There's a free version of it on the asset store. I don't know what, I've already pulled it out for this project. I don't know, I've already deleted it. I don't know what I'm editing out, so I don't know if you actually saw me use it, because I was trying to fuck with something that just was not working. But normally, depending on where things are at, I would combine multiple objects. And I use occlusion to optimize my worlds too, so sometimes I won't combine certain objects with other objects just because I know occlusion will take care of it and they'll disappear if you're not there. I would go through and combine other objects depending on like how much I wanted to do. You can use tools like Mesh Baker to do that. There's a free version that does a pretty good job. You have to be careful with light maps though, because they can get screwed up depending on whatever settings you use in Mesh Baker. Honestly, it's a little confusing, but it works. You do want to optimize, you do want to combine as many objects as you possibly can. That makes sense. We're also going to use occlusion. So we're going to set that up right now. I'm going to go to bake, and I'm just going to bake the default settings for occlusion. And if you look at this, you can see my chairs over here disappeared. But if I rotate, now they pop up. See that? And that's how occlusion works. So I just baked the default settings. We're going to let that be how it is. Okay. Lighting. Got a lot of lights here. I like all my lights to be on baked. Let's go to window. Actually, before we do lighting, let's do textures. I'm gonna go to my textures. And I want all my textures to be as optimized as possible. So all I'm doing is I selected the file and I just changed my size, and this went from 0.7 megabytes to 170 kilobytes. This is 42 kilobytes, probably don't have to worry about that. This is 1.3 megabytes, so we're gonna take this down. I know my art is getting crunched. Still looks good. Now these 3D objects, I don't know what 5.3 megabytes is. That's pretty big. Definitely don't want it to be that big, so we're gonna do that. Now they're just a few kilobytes each. Look at all of these objects. So I'm just gonna go through, find my textures, and just crunch them, because there's no reason for this stuff to be so heavy. 5.3 megabytes for, like, what the fuck? I don't want that. Actually, I'm gonna go even lower. Don't at me. How big is this? 2.7 megabytes. Oops. Not a chance. Not in my world. What about this wood? 0.7. A lot of times the reason certain worlds are so big is it's usually because of it's usually because of textures. 1.3 megabytes. Like, look at all this. Taking all this down. I ain't having it. Oh fuck. That was a mistake. Cool. What else is there? Look at all this. I'm just gonna, come on. I'm just gonna select all of these and just bring them all down. 512, apply. Alright. Is that it? I think that's it. There wasn't too much in here. So that's probably it. One thing I didn't check was the bark. Where was this at? Yeah, I got it. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it. This world honestly shouldn't be that big at all. Oh, the skybox. Remember at the beginning when I put that skybox in and I couldn't decimate, or I couldn't compress the images? Let's see if we can do something about that. 2 megabytes. It's not gonna let me. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it like it is, because I don't know what's going on with that. No big deal. Now what though? Oh, lights. Let's do lights. Lights are fun. It looks really cool now, doesn't it? We're about to fuck it all up. No, we're not. So the first thing I want to make sure is that all my lights are set to bake. Cool. Step 1 complete. Now, so basically this means we're gonna bake the information for these lights into the world, so the game doesn't have to render all these lights. What that means though is once we do that, there won't be any information to tell the game what lights are on moving objects. So to get information like that, we need to add light probes. I've noticed people do light probes different ways. I usually put down just a few and I scale them out, which is what I'm gonna do here. And basically this is just saying it's letting the game take the information for the lights that get baked in here and says, hey, you should put this on whatever movable objects are going to be in this area. So yeah, so bam, we got 3 lights in there, and we could add reflection probes for all this glass, but I'm not going to. But essentially the way that would look would be, you got this guy here, and then you can press this button over here and and change the box of things that's going to be reflected. And what it does is it says, okay, look at all these objects that are in this box. Depending on how reflective each object is, will determine, actually I'm just going to do that. Let's see what happens. We'll determine the reflection on it. We'll just do that. I've never actually done something like that. I mean, I've used reflection probes, but I haven't set it up like that before. I'm curious to see what happens. So once you have this all set up, let's go into our lighting settings and check out what's in here. I'm going to turn off real time because I don't want any real time. We'll keep mixed on because that's my baked. We're going to change this to 20 because resolution doesn't need to be that high. I'm going to light map padding. We'll do 2. Indirect resolution, I'll keep it at 2, but there shouldn't be anything anyways. Compressed light maps. Ambient occlusion. Don't want fog. Everything seems to be a-okay. So I'm going to press generate lighting. And we're going to let that run. And it shouldn't take long because there's not, well, there's several lights in here, but you know, we'll see what happens. Everything baked. It doesn't look too bad. This rug is struggling. This rug is really struggling. Plus it was not set to static, so that makes sense. None of this stuff was set to static. I'm going to set it to static because lights don't bake on anything that's not static. Then we're going to see what happens. I'm going to pick these. It was low light, so I'm going to make these a bit bigger. Yeah, let's bake again. And all I do is I just go back here, press generate light map, and let it go. And you can see down here it's doing its thing. Alright, so yeah, this looks really good. We're gonna go into the game and look at this. I don't know if you remember where you started, but now instead of 700 batches, we are now at 42 batches, and instead of 90,000 tries, we're at 8,000 tries. This is quest optimizable, quest compatible, optimizable. This is great. So we're gonna add a couple more things. I'm gonna add a prefabs thing. Number 1, I'm gonna add some prefabs from the prefabs group. And if you don't know the prefabs group, it's basically a group that makes some cool stuff that they give out for free for people to use, like pens and video players. Let's add some pens and video players. I already have this stuff downloaded, so I'm gonna go to my documents. Here, pens. I want pens. This was a prefab made by Vogan, I think. Let's see, where did that save? Projects. I'm going to move that over to prefabs. Pens. Prefabs. Pen desk. And here's the prefab desk. Get out of here. I don't want you desk. Oops. The reset button's on the desk. I do want that. Button respawn. I'm going to delete that. Sign. Button erase. Respawn. Alright, let's take all of this. Oops. Let's take all of these. And we're going to try to put it on this table. Whoa. I know these little probe balls are making things hard to see. That's okay. I'm not really worried about it. You can change the size of that. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So bam, we got some pens here now. Look at that. I don't really like that there. Let's move this on this side. Killer. Easy peasy. Got some pens. Should we add a video player? Why not? Alright, I've got the video player right here, so I'm going to bring that in. And this is the one you see. This is the same video player that's in the rain room and some other places. So I'm going to bring that over to prefabs. I've noticed, I think it's version 2.2 that doesn't work. Wait. So I'm gonna put this one. Yeah, one of them doesn't work. You like put in a video or you hit this button in the game and it just like disappears. I think this is the 2.1 is the one that works for me. Can't tell if it's hitting my little edge. It is. I don't want it clipping with the sides here, but it's a good spot to put it. Alright, look at all these things. Let's make a Quest version, huh? Because if you look over here, it fits the Quest it fits Quest criterias. So I'm going to duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D. I'm going to rename it Quest. And I'm going to first, before I do that, damn it, I got issues now. I think the Meshbaker stuff is messing me up. Ooh, standard asset. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to show that. Actually, yeah, so you guys just saw I had an issue where it said clear cache, or that was the only option. That's because there was assets in my project that were screwing with the SDK. Specifically, it was probably Meshbaker because I know Meshbaker's done it before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But it was the Unity assets that was really causing the problem. So I deleted everything except for where my tree came from. So let's build this. I'm gonna upload this to VRChat, and then I'm gonna make I'm signed in. I'm gonna make a new version, which is gonna be the Quest version that I got over here. I'm gonna upload that to the same blueprint so that I've got a Quest version on top of the PC version. And I'll show you how to do that. You're gonna have to switch the build of Unity over to Android. But it's super simple. I hope this is still helpful. I know I've been going on for a minute, and as I've gone through it, I've gotten like a little tired, I guess. So I don't know how thorough I'm being with this stuff. So I hope if you are following, I hope it's still good. All right, we're gonna call this tutorial. Let's make it 16 people. Why not? Let's go back to the scene. You should have a VRC cam in here now. I'm gonna bring this up. That looks dope as fuck. Let's upload it. We'll do a test and then we'll add music. We'll find something. Okay, so now let's upload the Quest version. So we're going to do File, Build Settings. We want to go to the Android build and then switch platforms. If you don't have the Android build version of Unity downloaded, you'll have to download it, and I think you'll have to restart Unity. But then you just do this, and it loads all the assets to be Android. Certain shaders and things don't work on the Android build, so if you're using a special shader for your PC version, it's gonna look different on the Quest version. Now the reason why I've made two projects down here, one for Quest and one for PC, is because in the Quest version I am going to end up deleting something, and when you do that, I've noticed there's syncing issues, but right now you probably won't notice anything because you won't have syncing issues with static objects. It's really just with your non-static objects that the program thinks can move, and they might link to different things depending on what those objects are. I don't really understand what the syncing issues are, what causes it, because I was under the impression that it's synced based on the name of the game object. So chair 1 would sync with chair 1 on the Quest, you know what I mean? That would make sense, but even with the same name, you'll have objects synced to different objects. So in the Black Cat, people run around, Quest people will run around with the toilet plunger, but all the PC users see them holding a beer or something. I've noticed it happens with pickup. Well, it happens with non-static objects. So that's pickup objects and objects that animate. Any non-static objects will sync with different things. Me and a friend were talking, and we're beginning to think that it might be a naming, or not a naming thing, but a hierarchy thing. So where it's at in the hierarchy, it'll link. So if you have two objects, or let's say you have three objects, and you delete one of them from the Quest version, it will sync. So each object will sync in order, but if one's missing, it will just go to the next object to sync. And we're thinking that that's how it's possibly working. I wish I knew. I hope that was informative. That was just a long explanation of me saying I don't know how anything works. Alright, I'm gonna let this fucking load. Okay, this stops, so I'm gonna close this. You can see lighting works a little bit differently on Android than what it does on the other things. So I'm gonna open up this, save changes on that. So this is the Quest Chill Hangout, and what I'm gonna get rid of is the video player, and actually I'm not gonna delete them. I'm just gonna deactivate them, turn off those game objects. And yeah, everything else should work properly in the same. So I'm gonna, if you go to build settings, you can see we're on the Android build. So if I go to the VRChat build control panel and I press new build, you should upload it, and you upload to the same blueprint as the other one. It should work. It should work fine and work on cross-platform and everything. So we're gonna upload this, and then we will jump into the game and see what's up. So here we are in the world. I always like coming into VR to test my worlds, because it's super cool to build something and then like be in it. So far, everything looks really good. The scale is actually really good. I'm really surprised. I thought everything was gonna be a little bit too big. So you can see the chairs that we put in. Everything seems to be good. Oops. Mirror buttons. Hell yeah. The rug's a little big. Look at this. We could probably bring that down a little bit. It looks like it might even be floating. We'll bring that down a little bit. So this toggles the high quality mirror. This one toggles the low quality mirror. And you know, they both make sure the other mirror is always off for it. Oh, it looks like I accidentally scaled the front of this, but how did that happen? Did I do it over here too? No. That's so weird. Oh, it looks like I accidentally moved it. Oh well. Oh no! I should fix that. Fuck. These are a little high, but you know what? It's probably fine for up here. People can still jump off. Yeah, maybe some music would be good. You can see what the reflection probe did to everything. So if I turn off this mirror, like look at that. You can like barely see it. I didn't set it to the box thing. But you can see in the windows, what it did keep. You can, even if you look over here, you can see the bed from over there. It's pretty sick. All right. Well, let's go back into the program. Gotta fix that. It's not good. Yeah, I gotta go back in the program. What do we gotta do right now? We gotta fix the rug, rebake the lights. My program crashed when I tried to do the quest thing, but so I kind of quit it halfway through. But that's okay. We'll go in. I need to take out these prefabs for the quest because I think Buddy told me the quest users crash when they try to use pens or if it gets too bad. So I'm gonna take the pens out and I'm gonna take the video player out as well for the quest people, or maybe keep it in. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, either way, gotta re-upload both versions and then hopefully it'll be good. All right, so we just did the test. This is actually the next day for me, but we did the test. I just opened up the project again. I'm still in the Android build, so I'm gonna do the changes that we need to do in the Android build, and then we're gonna go back over to the PC. I'm gonna try to upload it also from the Android because I know it was like screwing up for me. What's the best way to do this? think if I just lower it. Look at that, easy peasy. What else was there? Oh, these blocks over here. There we go. And I think that was it. For Quest, I do want to... Oh, this is not the Quest version. I'm in the Chill Hangout. So this is the PC version. I'm on Android build. I'm gonna go to my Quest version. So that was actually the PC version. This is the Quest version. And I'm gonna kind of just do the same thing. And that works. And then, as you can see, I already have this and this, and the pen and the video player turned off already. I'm gonna... There's some things I want to do. I want to add a pickup object, just so that I can show you how to do that. And I want to add music. So let me go find those things. Okay, so I found a song. I went to YouTube and I downloaded a royalty-free song, and I'm gonna pull that in right now if I can find it. You can't see the folder I'm going to, but I'm looking for it. Boom. How big is this file? 4.7 meg. I'm gonna actually delete this. I'm going to bring it into Premiere, and you can use any program that can edit audio to do this. I'm going to use Premiere Pro. I'm gonna pull this over. And I just want to, this is a project that I do all my stuff in, so I'm just gonna pull this in here. This is the song I chose. And I'm just gonna re-export it. See, it's super nice. I'm gonna re-export it. I know there's offline material. To be not that big. So instead of 5 megabytes, it's gonna be 1 megabyte. And I can even compress this a little bit more. And we're gonna call this calm music. How about that? We're gonna go to Chill Hangout tutorial, and I'm just gonna save it right here, and we'll export that. And you know, this is optimization stuff, trying to get that megabyte size down so people aren't downloading super large files for no reason. And now that that's exported, I'm gonna close this. And I've got my calm music right here. I'm just gonna bring that right into the project. Now, if I want the project to be 2D and play everywhere uniformly, all I got to do is drag it right into the hierarchy, and it is in there. If you attach it to a shape, it'll become a 3D sound source, which a lot of people don't like, or I don't know. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. You can do it either way. For this, I'm going to just have it as a 2D sound source. I always take the volume down because 1 is usually way too high. I'm going to take it down to 0.4. I'm going to also make it loop. and it plays on awake. And what I'm gonna also do is I'm gonna duplicate this trigger here. I'm gonna bring it over here. I'm gonna change the name to music, and it's gonna I'm gonna have it toggle my music here. So this is a on interact local trigger that's gonna set this game object active and like on and off whenever you hit that button. Now, because we did move shapes around, it might be good to bake again. But it's probably not necessary because we just moved those and it doesn't seem like anything got messed up. I will go ahead and bake again though. So lighting settings, generate light map, and we'll let that run. It's when you bake, it'll save in your cache. So so baking multiple times shouldn't take as long unless you clear a cache. You can clear a cache by, I believe, going to edit, preferences, and then you go down to GI cache and you just press clear and clean cache. I can't, it's grayed out right now is because I'm currently baking and it's like using that information. So we'll let that go, and then we're gonna go to, no, we're gonna add the music on the PC world because we were just editing the Quest version. The thing, I mean, now you can see I probably should have waited before I duplicated this project because they are so similar that all the changes I'm making on one end need to be changed on the other end, and now we're just kind of wasting time going back and forth, but that's fine. So I'm just gonna add this in here, 0.4 loop, duplicate this, bring this in here, oops, music, and yeah. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is I'm just going to do it on the PC version, that way I don't have to go back to the Quest version. I'm just going to show you how to make a pickup object, just in case you don't know how. So we're just going to create a new 3D object. Let's make a cube. I'm just going to bring it over here, and we'll just leave it right there. Now it's important to make sure that this cube is not static because you are going to be able to move it around. And oh yeah, it's not static. You need a collider of some kind. The collider tells the game, it's like, this is the part that the user can pick up. So I usually do a box collider, and then yeah, you gotta add the scripts for it. So to make a pickup object, you need the VRC pickup script. So add that. And there's a lot of options here. We're just gonna keep it on all default right now. And then you need object sync. Object sync is what's gonna tell everyone where these objects are. So that way, when one person picks it up, everyone sees that person pick it up. So we'll put that on there. If you ever seen where you pick up an item and then you let go of it and it kind of just stays in the air, that happens by clicking this button, is kinematic. So if I picked up this cube in the game and let go of it, it would stay in the air and not move at all. I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna uncheck that. Now you can pick this up. If you let go of it, it'll drop, and if you throw it over the edge, it will disappear forever. So to make that not happen, we need to go to our VRC world, and right now it says object behavior at, I don't know what the rest of that says, at respawn height. So when you fall and then you get respawned, what will happen to objects, it will be destroyed, and we're going to change that to respawn. So now if you take this object, throw it over the edge, and it hits that limit, it's now just going to respawn to where it was at when the world, when you load, like where it's at in the world, right there. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to save this since we're already on the Android build version of Unity. I'm just gonna go back to the Quest version over here, and I'm gonna upload this. So you can see now we're in the Quest build. I'm gonna go to VRCHat, show build control panel, and I'm gonna try to upload this. And then once that's done, we're gonna try to upload the other one. Am I still recording? Yes, I am. Okay. It looks like it did not get the memo for my blueprint, so we're gonna leave out of here. Where's the... There is a blueprint. What do you mean? I just need to make sure that these two blueprints are the same. So, go to VRC World. Well, actually, I'll just show build control. That's not what I want. Since we already uploaded this, if I go to manage upload content and I come over here, I call this world tutorial. So if I go all the way down to the T's, tutorial, copy ID. If I close out of that, I'm still in the Quest version, so I'll go to world, detach, and paste that blueprint we just copied, and we'll do this again. And we'll let that go. Alright, we're in here. Now it has all the information that we had it, so I'm just gonna double check. I'm on the Android version, so this is the Quest version that's going up right now, so we'll upload that, get that going. And you can probably hear the music. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, I can see it going in OBS. Alright, now it's uploaded. Yay. We'll go to that in a second. I'm going to switch back to the PC version. And then we're going to upload the PC version, and then we'll test it in the game and see what's up. Cool. Alright, it's done. Let's go to the non-Quest version. And we're in the non-Quest version. We're just going to upload this. Easy peasy. What do you mean log in? I'm already logged in. I'll fight you. Oh, you know what we wanted to do? We wanted to make the rug smaller. I just forgot. We're not going to worry about that. We're gonna upload this, and then we're gonna call it a tutorial. All right, check this. Upload, and that's pretty much it. I guess that's this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. We're gonna the last thing we'll do is we'll run through and check it all out. But I hope this helped. Okay, here we are in VRChat. Hello, how are you? I just uploaded Tsunami Bar. Let's see how it's doing. Oh, 15 people, okay. That's so exciting. Alright, let's check out the tutorial world. Here we go. 10 megabytes. And it's Quest optimized. Look at that. We did it. We're just gonna pretend like that. We're not gonna test the Quest, but I'll test it later. We're gonna pretend like it works, because I'm sure it does. So here it is. We were in here earlier. Like I said, we probably should have fixed the carpet, bring it lower or something, but you know, whatever. Look at this game object that I can pick up, drop, and take over here and throw it. Get out of here. Look, it should respawn right back. Bam. I'm gonna turn the world audio up. Wow, it's that song we put in there. That's so cool. Like, turn it off, turn it on. Look at these chairs. I can turn off the chairs so they're not annoying. See, now they're not there. I'll turn that back on. And look, they're back. And if we come over here, we hit these buttons. Low quality mirror, hello. High quality mirror, hello. So, it's pretty sick. I actually really like this world. Maybe I shouldn't upload this. Maybe I should just do a new public world. So yeah, like I was saying, I don't know how thorough this actually was. When I get into it, I just kind of go and I try to explain certain things, but I probably missed a lot. I hope you were able to follow along if you were trying to, or at least I hope you took some of the skills that I showed you. Like a lot of people want to build something, but they don't know where to start. And Pro Builder is a great place to start because it's a modeling tool. You wouldn't be able to really build something like that chair. Like there's a lot of intricacies in this. You might want to learn Blender to do something like that, but you know, it's a great base and I use it a lot for all my bases. It's kind of like my workflow right now. But yeah, if you, like I said, if you wanted to download this world, there is a link in the underneath this video. Feel free to snag it and then you can pull this up with everything that's in it and play with it. But yeah, I guess that's all I got for you people. Peace.